This video series explores the topic of sustainable tourism through 5 episodes. The second episode introduces why travelers' good intentions often fade on holiday and how social psychology explains the shift in behavior. In this video, we'll unpack what changes in tourist settings and how to design for greener actions. We'll use 5 social psychology lenses: psychological closeness, norm activation, habit disruption, cognitive decision habits, and power and all. Let's see where intentions leak and how small design fixes can turn values into action. The first segment is psychological closeness. Away from home, you feel less connected to the people around you. Lower psychological closeness means you expect fewer social consequences if you bend rules. Informal social control weakens, and the brakes on wasteful behavior come off. Research by Wan, Hui, and Chiu, 2021, confirms that when tourists leave home, they often feel less psychologically close to fellow consumers at the destination. This reduced closeness lowers the anticipated informal social sanctions, e.g., peer disapproval, which in turn raises the likelihood of misbehavior, such as overserving at buffets and wasting food. The second segment is the norm activation theory. Confent and Scarpi, 2021, examine tourists' environmentally responsible behavior through norm activation theory and show that people act sustainably when 2 things happen at once. They clearly understand the concrete consequences of their actions and they feel personally responsible for those consequences. When negative impacts are vague or distant, tourists feel less accountable and are less likely to conserve water, sort waste, or avoid excess. On the contrary, when tourists are aware of the negative consequences associated with environmentally unfriendly behavior, like excessive water use or waste, they're more likely to feel responsible and act sustainably. The practical takeaway for destinations is to communicate clear, local impacts and pair them with one easy, immediate action, turning concern into observable pro-environmental choices. The third segment is habit disruption. Sustainable habits at home rely on familiar cues. Travel replaces them like new bins, routines, layouts. For example, people mean to recycle, but the bins look unfamiliar. People plan to eat moderately, but large plates cue over serving. McInnes, Grun, and Dalnakar, 2022, show that everyday habits, such as conserving water and recycling, are powerful drivers of sustainable behavior. When people travel, unfamiliar settings interrupt these routines. Unlike residents who follow stable cues and norms, tourists face new environments that switch off their pro-environmental autopilot. The authors recommend designing destinations to 1. Disrupt counterproductive vacation habits, for example, using smaller plates at buffets to curb overserving. And 2. Recreate home cues to reactivate good habits. For example, matching recycling bin colors/icons and adding prompts like, "Please treat this room as you would your home." The fourth segment is cognitive decision habits. Cognitive decision habits can be viewed as a subset of cognitive habits that refer specifically to decision rules such as cognitive frames and rule of thumb. In line with habit theory, cognitive decision habits would govern decision-making via a direct or motivated mechanism. Research by Xue, Chan, and Wan, 2023, shows that the way eco-information is framed, either as an outcome badge or a process narrative, interacts with travelers' cognitive decision habits. Guests with more entity-oriented habits, who seek fixed, verified outcomes, prefer hotels that prominently display credible certifications. In contrast, guests with more incremental-oriented habits, who value visible improvement processes, respond more favorably to concrete descriptions of actions and progress. Practical takeaway: match the message to the mindset, or present both a trusted seal and a short list of auditable efforts to build confidence across segments. The fifth segment is power and awe. Awe can spark care for nature, but context matters. Relaxed, unthreatening awe broadens attention to the environment. Challenging, stressful awe narrows attention to comfort and safety. Research by Su, Wen, and He, 2025, uses a social psychology lens to show that tourists' sense of power and the emotion of awe shape pro-environmental behavior, and and that the effect is context-dependent. When visitors feel relatively high power and engage in calm, nature-based activities, they experience unthreatening awe that broadens attention and promotes stewardship. When they feel low power and face demanding or risky activities, awe can become threatening, triggering self-protection and dampening sustainable actions. Implication: pair restorative awe with easy, immediate stewardship opportunities, e.g., refill rituals, micro-cleanups, and provide recovery and clear guidance after challenging activities to nudge greener choices. To summarize, this video shows 5 psychological forces help explain why tourists often leave a bigger footprint than residents. 1. Reduced social connectedness and accountability when away from home. 2. Consequences that feel distant, weakening personal responsibility. 3. Travel contexts that disrupt home routines and good habits. 4. The way sustainability information is framed, which interacts with different decision styles. And 5. Emotional states on trips that shift attention toward or away from stewardship. Together, these imply a design solution. Make prosocial norms local and visible, make impacts concrete with one easy action. Rebuild helpful cues and defaults, present both credible badges and concrete efforts, and pair inspiring moments with simple, immediate, sustainable behaviors. Thank you very much for watching episode 2. If you're interested in sustainable tourism, feel free to check out our other episodes as well.